I will have been on vacation by the time this video goes out probably. And I have a couple boring shirts and other stuff that could do with some DIY that I might want to take with me. Name's Tommy, welcome to That's ASMR. I'm not gonna sew, do not worry. Whether or not you're new here, let me just tell you right now, that is good news. Instead, I'm gonna concentrate on techniques that I'm much better at. I got leftover fabric paint and a desire to use it. 3 things I really want to do in mind. First up, I have had this shirt for many years. I saw it on the sales rack and the color was giving Ponyboy Curtis to me. Unfortunately, I never reached for it. I like the color, but I don't think I like it that much all at once, that plain on me. Because it's a men's shirt, it's a bit long. I like the idea of doing like a design, but only up here around the neckline, maybe stretching out onto the arms. I'm gonna have to think about what exactly that's gonna be. Most shirts with prints you just buy are like this one. The print is just front and center. Why not change up the placement, make things interesting that way? And also, I have these cargo shorts that I don't think need that much. I like the dangly bits, metal details here and there, so I might just, I don't know, add a couple charms. The dream project that I have in my mind that kickstarted all of this is another shirt I want to paint also. I just don't have like the perfect base shirt for that one. So I ordered some secondhand stuff that should come in a couple of days. But for now, I'm gonna get started on the purple shirt and figure out what exactly I want to do with it. So I did have one idea for this shirt. The idea is clouds. Been thinking about, I kind of want to keep my mind in the Ponyboy realm sort of thing. That is an Outsiders reference, one of my favorite books and movies. Ponyboy Curtis is the main character, and while he may be dealing with big scale classism issues, the boy really just wants to look at a sunset. That's all he wants. And in the movie, the actor is wearing like a shirt that also has this like nondescript, is it really purple? Is it dark blue? Is it gray almost? Can't really tell. It also changes color every scene sort of shirt. So I like thinking of the Outsiders every time I look at the shirt, so I don't want to do anything super crazy that would not mix well with the aesthetic that creates in my mind. And I also just like taking inspiration from my everyday life if possible. You know, that's kind of what you do as an artist, I suppose. I'm not special in that way at all. All that to say, I've been going for walks around sunset time a lot. Killer looking cloud constellations, I gotta say. Look like a different version of a Renaissance painting every day with like the sun hitting the edges, you know, making them really bright. And one day I'm just gonna accidentally walk into traffic because I'm looking up at the clouds and not at the road ahead. The whole sunset, the Outsiders theme, recurring obsession with cloud constellations in the sky. I'm thinking clouds for this shirt. Only gonna be using black fabric paint because that mixes well with all my other clothes, you know, and then that's gonna, I hope, sort of blend in this color much better. First hurdle for that is that I'm gonna paint darker clouds on a lighter background. Usually you do it the other way around. So I'm gonna have to do some experiments in terms of what the clouds are gonna look like. Alright, maybe I lied. Maybe I'm gonna sew. Whoops. I do want this shirt to be a bit shorter. It is very long and tube shaped. And what I usually do with men's shirts that have that problem on my frame is just cut off the bottom and then leave it just like that, because t-shirts are fine without a hem. This one I don't want to be much shorter. And also, I don't know, I just feel like trying something different. So instead of just cutting it off, I'm gonna not cut anything actually. Instead, I'm basically gonna ruffle the bottom of like the side seam on both sides of the shirt. I actually do own a shirt like that that has that detail. So I know that I like that look, and because it's ruffled, it's gonna shorten it a couple centimeters. And I feel like it's gonna aid in creating a bit more of a flattering shape, but also just something different, you know? Nice little detail. Why not? I'm gonna use a piece of elastic and then basically sew that on there, you know, stretch it, sew the fabric on, and then when you let go, that's essentially the idea. I'm gonna hand sew that because I don't feel like fighting with the machine today. Marked about where I want this to go, and then it's just gonna be a couple stitches. Got my purple yarn. I could just do the yarn and like ruche it up and then tie it off or something, but I want to do it the proper way with the elastic so that that whole thing also stays elastic, because that whole shirt is very stretchy.
Okay.
This is me trying to figure out the kind of clouds I'm doing and their placement by doing some pencil studies. This is me realizing I should probably be doing that with paint because that's the medium I'm actually going to use. And this is me a couple days later showing you all the cloud studies that I've done so far. And a cry for help, I'll be honest, because I'm not done yet. And clouds have stopped looking like clouds to me. While at the same time I'm pretty sure I'm developing Alex from Madagascar syndromes and am now seeing clouds where there definitely are none. Other than that, going great. Shirt is currently on the floor after I tried it on one more time and roughly marked the areas where I'm gonna be putting my clouds pencil drawings that I was trying things out with. I'm really trying to sort of keep the bright edges that are basically going to be untouched by the black paint. The difference between making this look like a cloud, or at least cloud inspired, instead of just blobs of paint on a shirt, you know. Then I've done this on one of those Pantone postcards. I think there's aspects to every cloud I've drawn that I like. There's also parts that I dislike. I'm gonna dilute the color a lot and keep layering in places to darken parts up. Back to the cry for help thing. I'm pretty sure I thought I had drawn many a cloud before, but I do not think that over the course of my whole life I have drawn more clouds than I have drawn in the last couple days. This one looks like a brain. I'm gonna do one more study in paint. And then I really hope I got it then, because I need to be absolutely sure what kind of cloud I'm going for before I touch this shirt, because once the damage is done, the damage is done, you know? I just had a thought. Why be so rigid and so controlling about the process of creating the clouds? I have done my final round of studies. I got my technique down. Why don't I, for a change, you know, let go of my controlling perfectionist tendencies? You know, because I can be spontaneous and chill and free-spirited and just let things happen and then be okay with them turning out okay. I can do that. I can totally do that. So instead of meticulously planning out every single individual cloud, I'm gonna let fate, or whatever you want to call it, decide some of this at least. Got these marbly things. They're a little bit bigger than your average marble, but I think I also have some normal marbles around here somewhere if I want some size variation. And I think I have seen one too many videos of people making fantasy maps by like throwing whatever on top of a piece of paper, and wherever it lands, you draw like your fictional island or landmass around it. You know what? What kind of shape that could also work for? Clouds. Basically, just throw a couple marbles on top of the shirt, move a little bit, so that they're in the area. That's just gonna be my basic outline. Feels Jackson Pollocky, even though I'm not gonna put any paint directly on the marbles. But let's have some fun, eh? Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation. Let's paint some clouds. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
War ein Regenschirm in meinen Beutel gepackt und der ist gerade aus Versehen aufgegangen.
It's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come. I'll wait for that to dry and see if I need to then make any final touch-ups or changes. I'm gonna distract myself. As I said, I don't think the cargo shorts need much. Specifically what I had in mind. Box of old jewelry that I keep around for all kinds of projects. And I think I remember, yeah. I have this cross that I used to wear on a necklace. Comes with its own little carabiner at the top, so that might just be perfect. Oh yeah, we're cooking. And obviously the charm is that I can take it off anytime I want. Actually, I have more in that style, like a sun with a like black bead stone whatever in the middle. Reminds me of the Godsmack logo. I also don't think I'm gonna wear this as jewelry ever again. I'm gonna look around in here a little more. Honestly, wouldn't be mad if it just ends up being these two in the end. Alright, shirt numero dos. I don't speak Spanish. I decided on this one from the ones that I ordered. It's mostly the color I was imagining, like sort of a reddish brown, which I like. And also, ironically, I'm pretty sure it's the exact same brand and model that I used in black for my Five Finger Death Punch shirt that I made last summer. First order of business, shorten it, definitely. And then paint on Gothic church windows, or the same one rather, all along the hem. Because I have to shorten it, I have to make a new hem. So wish me fucking luck. Yeah. It's a bit more sewing than I wanted to do. I'm convinced it's not me. That's the problem. It's my machine, I'm pretty sure. I have read the instructions a billion times. I have oiled it, I have cleaned it, I have done all the things that are recommended. Nightmare every time, but sometimes it works. So let's hope that today is one of those times. I really want the bottom to be like clean and finished off, because that's where the design is gonna be. And then I'm gonna have a look at just basically a bunch of different Gothic church windows. Do not let this be in vain. I don't know what entity I'm praying to, the sewing god, whoever they are, I hope they're on my side. I hate to say it, but there might be a god. Of sewing machines anyways. Looks pretty convincingly professional. Pretty straight as well, which is important because that's gonna be my guideline as to where to place the windows. So, moving swiftly on. Right, measuring. I've done that. Like, how wide is it approximately? How high do I want the church window row to be? Decided I want 4 going along the bottom, along the front and the back. My main concern was deciding on whether I wanted 1 just smack dab in the middle and the center, or 1 to the left and 1 to the right of the exact center. I decided on the second option. Then came the time to study architecture, apparently. The amount of churches I have looked at, I cannot fathom. I did some more tryouts right next to the clouds, and then even more, and more. Wasn't planning on making it this hard for myself. There's a bunch of just like vector images of Gothic church windows online. And I didn't want to directly use one, but I thought I could just like use one as a rough template, make a couple changes, maybe combine 2 or 3. And well, should have seen the part coming where obviously there's nothing out there already done by someone else that fits my standard and what I want exactly. So I decided to make my own from scratch. Took about a day, you know, like a whole one. But I have finally ended up with this. Deciding on the thickness of the lines, nightmare. How many circles, where to place them, also nightmare. How do you get the arch right? How do you get the inner arch to exactly meet at the right point with the outer arch? You know, all that fun stuff. Like, I do love me some geometry. Then I decided I wanted to do like a 3-pointed thing in those circles, and well, there comes a point where you stop loving geometry. I do feel like I have done all the architecture study there is to do. Whoever's responsible for handing out diplomas for that, I will be waiting for mine. Thank you very much. I don't know if there's professional geometrists out there, but whatever it is, I am that now as well, I feel. A lot of this and a whole lot of compass work, let me tell you. We made it, we've arrived here. I have my final clean sketch thing, and then I made a photocopy of it and colored it in, so to say. Tried a couple more things here and there to see if I liked it, you know, once it's just like black outlines. Now I'm gonna cover this in packing tape in hopes of making this last longer, and then X-Acto knife, cutting mat, that type of shebang. Just put that as a stencil onto the shirt. Sounds like a plan.
Das ist bestimmt Maria, sagt er. Willkommen im Verein. Wie bitte? Fragt das Känguru. Entschuldigung, sage ich, aber es gibt so. Ich habe das ausgelöst, indem ich gesagt habe.
I leave in 2 days. It's 9:30 p.m. I'm wearing pajama shorts. Yes. And I've been overcome by a sudden wave of maybe unjustified confidence that I can do this. Done cutting the stencil. I have done a little test on the part that I cut off, and I'm not aiming for perfect here anyways because I don't want it to be too samey. I'm saying that in advance so we collectively don't get disappointed with the end result. And you know what? I've been known to do my best work at night, so... I'm back from vacation. Whoops. I'm sure you can tell by the intense tan that I've acquired. Did not quite get to finishing it all, but that's fine. I took the cargo shorts and the purple cloud shirt, and well, I've got good news and bad news. Which ones do you want to hear first? Personally, I'm feeling like hearing some good news, so we're gonna start there. This is how far I've got with the brown shirt. Didn't think I would get even this far the night that I did that. All that's left to do is the other side of this. Now for the bad news. Actually, now that I'm looking at it on camera, you probably can't even tell the full scale of the bad news. Loads of the clouds has come off and lightened and washed out pretty noticeably. I'm not very good with expressing my emotions in front of other people, so I'll try this verbally instead. I'm really fucking sad that a significant part of my clouds are gone. Honestly, the first time I saw that, what I really wanted to do was shove this so far back into my closet where the sun don't shine that I never have to see it again and can just completely forget about it. That would ultimately render this unwearable once again, which is exactly what I've been trying to fix. And also, it's been a couple days since I've made the horrifying discovery. There's enough of the clouds left that I could quite easily reconstruct what was already there. Like, it's not like I'm starting from scratch. The more upsetting part is that I don't really know what went wrong. Actually, I didn't even get to tell you the best part about my vacation, which is that I'm pretty sure I caught the Rona halfway through. So that was fun. Luckily, a quick recovery, but let me tell you, the one thing you do not want to sightsee on your vacation is a doctor's office from the inside. Also, just for clarification, because I don't think I explained it very well, I washed the painted purple shirt once before my vacation and it looked fine, and I thought, great, we're all set. Literally. Wore it on vacation. Proud as a peacock. I even saw a guy in a shirt that had a sort of cloud design, and I thought in my head, you know what? Mine looks way better. Came back from vacation, washed it again, and then this happened. So, very upsetting. Back to the studio. It says you can mix in water and that should just dry up, and I don't see why that would be a problem. Is this fabric paint too old maybe? Because I've had it for years and honestly I can't remember ever using this specific one on something that I actually washed. But I have used fabric paints by this brand on other stuff. Notably, I have painted a shirt with the red one last year or something, and that one is still completely fine. So did I not heat set it for long enough or at the correct temperature? I can't tell you because I think I did. Check like the composition of this fabric. That's all fine as far as I can tell as well. So I don't know. And therefore I don't know how to fix it, which is my biggest problem and what annoys me the most. Cast this to the side for now. Back to this one, I have to make some markings for the spacing on the back because annoyingly I also think, I don't know whose executive decision that was, the back panel of this shirt is a little bit wider than the front. I don't think I've ever had a t-shirt in my life that had that specific thing going on. What the hell? So I might have to zhuzh it a bit so it all looks even in the end, and then just dab more paint onto this template. Well, if it ever looks like I'm wearing a plain brown shirt, just please know that there's a black design at the bottom. Yeah? Wouldn't catch me dead in a plain brown shirt. I really like how this one came out. It's basically how I imagined it. All that time I spent on designing a freaking church window from scratch. was worth it, I think. Stencil worked really well, even though I was worried about the tiny little details. And I know, screen printing exists. But for now, I'm putting off getting into a new material that I don't already have requiring hobby. Thank you. The cargo shorts, well, barely a project, barely worth talking about, but they're a little bit cooler than they used to be now, so. Now as for the problem child, ironically, you can see like a lot more of the clouds on camera than you can in real life. This part here, barely visible. Gonna repaint them. I'm just too pissed off right now, so I'm just gonna hold off on that until at least I know for sure that the paint isn't coming off of this one. I heat set and ironed this one for longer than the directions said. Just a little bit extra careful about fabric paint right about now. I haven't washed this one yet because I wanted to film it first. If it's not the paint for now, I have to believe that something went wrong in the heat setting process. In better news, I really like the fit now. Also, I can tell you from that one-time experience that the cloud shirt looks really good with the crescent moon necklace. Ah well, good times. I may have compensated the loss of this one shirt by ordering 2 band shirts on eBay though. I'm sure once those arrive, that'll help make me feel better. It's looking up. Let's talk statistics. How long did this take? 2.5 episodes, Taskmaster season 19. 4 CDs worth of an audiobook. Revolution album by El Niño. Couple times over. I still don't speak Spanish. Tried my best with the pronunciation, guys. And then the new album by 3 Days Grace that came out while I was at this Alienation, I think. More than a couple times over. I don't know how the hardcore fans feel about it, but I really like the 2 lead singer thing they got going on now. Thanks for sticking around and watching me successfully paint 1.5 shirts. I can feel fall is right around the corner, which usually means that my creativity reaches its yearly high, so we can all look forward to that collectively. And I'll see you again next time. Rock on or whatever. Bye.